All right, hey guys, welcome to the Laughing Stock. This is Dane. I got Redneck Johnny with me.
Hello.
This is our intro video we wanted to get started on here, just to give everybody kind of a basic idea, the whole point of the stream as we get going forward. This is a long time in the making. Put a lot of work into finally getting this up. Johnny, thank you for all the background work that you did getting the audio and everything else
I'm happy
working,
we have started.
because it's not as easy as it sounds. So anyways, so the whole point of the stream, guys, is we're both value investors at heart. And we were intrigued initially by RK's style. So you're going to notice some similarities there to RK. RK is the OG, obviously, of this style of retail investing. And what really brought us into this is, besides the whole GameStop phenomenon, it really came down to that we saw his style and what he did with these spreadsheets and being able to screen and to find the companies. Because we want to find the company before everybody else does. We want to do something similar to how that worked out. So as I mentioned, we're both value investors, and that weighs heavily on our decisions. But RK always brought up a lot of great points about there's so much so much else matters for value in terms of the narrative, and value is one small part of it. We do want to put out the obvious disclaimer, in addition to what the initial disclaimer said, and just that we're both still learning. We're both inexperienced investors. I've been doing this for about 3 years now. Johnny, how long you been doing?
And it's about the same time. I'm in my third year or something like that, and I've only used like the sheets and his method since like January this year, so very fresh.
Yeah, so we're obviously still learning. We still make mistakes. You learn from your mistakes. It's really important to critically go over anytime you do make a mistake. But a part of the reason that we initially met through a Reddit page that was about building the spreadsheets, and Johnny had a question about leverage and building a leverage calculator, which I spent a long time watching RK's first 10 streams over and over and over just to learn all the different little nuances as part of it. And yes, I know I don't have to build the spreadsheets one-to-one. That wasn't really the point. It was just to have a basis, to use that to be able to find the companies and to understand value. And like I said, we're looking for the next big small cap that's undiscovered, or mid cap, whatever you want to call them. I don't really know how the ranges work these days, but it doesn't matter. But the reason why we ended up actually wanting to do this stream is just because when you go on YouTube, or even if you Google just investing, you don't find a lot of these kind of videos. Everybody's day trading or trading futures or crypto, and that's not really our style. Similar to RK's streams, you're not going to find investment tips here. We're not going to tell you to buy a stock. Well, the whole point of this is to really, as Johnny and I go through these different companies and we're bouncing ideas off each other, we would love to have other people's input, people to criticize us, people to correct us on our understanding. I've done a ton of reading. I've read Graham, I've read Security Analysis, I've read Lynch and everybody else who is considered a value investor, Buffett's books, and use that definitely as my basis. But I also crazy as it sounds, just like RK, we use technical analysis, and it's definitely more to find sentiment, but I do look at it and just consider it. It's not, I wouldn't buy something on a technical basis, but it does matter, I find, and it's a good way to kind of time going in and out of things, I think. The other big thing is I take concentrated positions. When I'm confident in a position, I am looking for a big win usually, and we're shooting for 50% returns. So this is similar in that this is not for most people. I have tons of other portfolios besides this one, so this is extra money that I have that goes into this account and works just for this style. So I just want to let people know that, you know, this is risky. These are extremely high risk stocks that usually we're going into, and we take large position sizes. At least I do. I know Johnny's going to be a little different. Even though we're similar in style, we don't own the same companies always. So, but we do tend to agree and disagree on a lot of the similar points. So when you're watching this, you know, when you see our portfolios, don't take those as things to buy. You know, those are just whether we're in it or not. It doesn't mean we're right or wrong, and we might have been holding some of these things for a long time. I find my holding period is anywhere from, could be a month depending on how something goes. Because I'm tending to shoot for bottoms. It doesn't always quite work out that way, but I'm typically buying within terms of 52-week lows, things along that, but not always. Just depends on if a narrative changes at the right time or the wrong time. And then, you know, I could hold it for 2 years, 3 years at most, probably. Even though we're value investors, we are looking at smaller companies. I look at micro and even some nano cap companies. So those things are very volatile, and they can kind of be all over the place. So it just depends on the narrative and the story and how long I think that it's going to take for that value to unlock. I would definitely refer to RK's videos too. We're going to go over our spreadsheets in the next video, but it doesn't mean that there's not a lot of gems that RK has in all his initial videos. Like I said, those initial 10 or so videos, there's so much that I've learned from those to not only build the spreadsheets, but just to kind of, you know, just in general, just investing advice, just what you should look for, what you shouldn't look for, what you should weigh heavily, you know, insider buying, ownership of companies, leverage ratios, you know, learning to look at companies that don't just have great fundamental. I know everyone thinks value and they think like, oh, you got to buy a company that's got great returns on equity and, you know, ROIC, and that's a small part of it. Same thing with the metrics. Like, yeah, metrics are good to use to kind of screen for, but I think it's minimal in terms of, you know, we were saying before about the ETFs, you know, and how values performed. And that's one small, you know, if you're looking at 2,000 companies and you're saying that all those are values and that's how you can measure value over the past, you know, decade, I think that's insane. That doesn't really show you how value performs. You shouldn't be looking at, you know, you can't put into an ETF that's called value and expect that to be a realistic return. I just think that's the wrong way, and I think that's why so many people think that value is underperformed. Johnny, you got anything else that you want to add?
Yeah, no, just that I want to introduce myself a bit better. And as you can hear, I'm not from the USA, I'm from Europe. So we have a time difference, you and I. So in terms of the schedule for the streams, we are thinking about maybe, or at minimum, try to do a live stream once per week. And then also, if we can, we want to maybe do a single one. I do one and you do one,
Yeah.
also per week. So we are aiming for 3 times per week, but we can't promise that we always are able to do that.
Yeah, but you know, either way, we would definitely want to get at least the one stream up with both of us up once a week. You know, the markets are always changing. There's always stuff to look at. So it's kind of constantly just keeping track of things and just kind of being ready. Because sometimes when the opportunities present, it's not for long. Not if you're trying to really hit, you know, a multi-bagger. It's tough to do. We're working on it. I've had a few successes. I've had some really good ones. I've had some big mistakes too. So you learn from those mistakes. And it's just slowly over time getting better and making sure that you're hitting more often than you're missing. And if you keep that up, it's going to work. Like I said, I have other portfolios, so the money in this portfolio to me, you know, well, obviously it doesn't mean nothing. It's just a small part of my overall portfolio. It won't affect my life. I'm sure, Johnny, you're similar.
Yeah, I'm the same. I have many ways of saving money, and the account I have for the stream is just one of those ways, and those are money that I've already accepted that I can afford to lose without it infecting my life too much. So I think that's important to also say. And of course, I agree with a lot of the things you have said, and I think everyone who follows us should really think about if we discuss a stock on a stream or something like that. We can also do a lot of research off camera, and we move pretty quickly sometimes. So things we may say one week might not be the same the next week, because we might stumble upon new information or something like that that changes a lot of our thinking. So we constantly develop and we constantly move around and adapt. So I think that's an important point to keep in mind if you want to watch us.
Right. And I think just in closing out of this, so I don't want this video to be too long. We're going to probably be doing some streams too, not just us looking and screening through companies, but if people have interest in learning about the spreadsheets and how to build those, we'd be happy to do that. I know I've had some people kind of reach out to us. To anybody it's taken so long to get these out, I'm sorry for the wait, but we're happy to finally get these started. We're going to try and keep things light. Like I said, this is something that we enjoy. It's a hobby. It's a passion on the side that we do. We want to have fun with this, and if anybody has questions and stuff like that, we'd love to help people answer those, as well as when we're going through things. If people have advice to offer to us, we would love for you guys to offer that to us too. So it should be going back and forth, and we'll find times and stuff to work out if for instance someone does want to go over how to build the spreadsheets or has questions about that side of things. I think that's it to get started. You got anything else?
Yeah. No, I think it's. I think you have said a lot of the things that I also we discussed before, and I just hope that we can create something that people will enjoy watching and contribute to also in the conversation about the stocks that we discuss, and come with some good comments that we can bounce back and forth of.
Yeah, one last thing, just to throw some thanks out to all the other analysts and who we weigh kind of heavily upon as we're looking through stuff. We really appreciate it. We'll give shout outs probably throughout the stream to all kinds of different things that we use, a lot of tools and different websites and whatnot. No one's paying us for any of this. This is not for any kind of monetary gain. It's just another way to keep us fully invested and to keep working on our practice and investing. Thank you to my family too, who puts up with me doing all this. I appreciate everybody.
Same here.
All right.
It's very time consuming, so it's the process that we love and that we fell in love with after watching all the Roaring Kitty streams. So that's what you're gonna get on this channel, like the research process.
Yeah, and we wanted to continue that on because there's not many GameStops out there that was a really unique position, and we want to kind of go in the vein of continuing those first few streams that RK was able to put out before it got so hyper focused on the one company, and just kind of keep that going into the future. But all right, thanks guys.